I've always liked Halo. Doesn't really matter what Halo it's been. I've always liked playing it, especially the story mode and like the actual universe that Halo's been in. I'm not a Halo fanboy. I can see there's plenty of problems with the game. Another one is the kill cam. I get frustrated in Halo more than I do in any other game, simply because I cannot see why I died. There's sort of like a vague area where it points to where someone killed you, but unless you can actually see how you died like that, I had no idea there was a guy over there. I had no idea how I died. It just I got shown just a black wall. But I do really enjoy the Halo aspects of like the universe, the Covenant. Maybe not so much the Flood. It sort of felt like a zombie thing, but even that to an extent, especially playing through like Halo Wars, the Flood was, I think, nicely incorporated in the whole story and the atmosphere. I haven't really read any of the novels yet. I do have a couple, but I just haven't had time to read them. I really do hope in the next Halo 4, I think they're doing? Yes, Halo 4. Well, technically it'll be Halo 4 since Halo reaches Halo 4, but you know, Halo 4 would be 5. I don't know what they're going to call it. But I really would like a good, solid single player. It seems like a lot of the time Halo sort of make the single player 4 to 5 hour experience, put a couple of good bits in it and just leave it at that. ODST had a pretty good single player and a pretty good story in fact, but it was just, it seemed like they didn't have time, or they didn't put the effort into it to make it better or make it what it could have been. And I think a lot of people hated it for that, especially since it was, I think, £40 or not £40, £30 or something, or $40 DLC, or it was supposed to be downloadable content. But then the developers were only given it a year to put it out, and it did improve like on the Halo graphics, and did improve on quite a few nice things. And added like Firefight, which was the Horde mode, which I think after Firefight came out, I think it was just like every single game had to have their own version of the Horde mode. Not Black Ops, World at War and their zombies was kind of different, even though it was kind of a Horde mode. It separated itself in a couple of ways that made it more interesting and more fun. But the biggest downside of Halo, I think, are the fanboys and fangirls, even so. It's the people that, and they're mostly young people as well, that blinded thinking Halo is the only game out there. And it's the same with all games like Call of Duty. Call of Duty fanboys, I think, are kind of worse. But it's these kids that think this game is the only game out there, and if you try something new in these games and try to improve or add something maybe a bit different, I killed this guy and he killed me at the same time. I think that's kind of good. If you don't try to improve or add anything new in these games, then nothing really gets better. And I think it's Halo Reach, to me, as I said before, was a great leaping sort of forward, I guess you could say. It was a great push in just changing things up a bit. I did like playing Halo 3, but I got so bored of Halo 3 because it was good players got better and bad players got worse. It was one of those situations where if you weren't lucky to get a good player on your team, that was it, you were done. And it was really hard to get into like a new game for it, or get into progressing your skills unless you had a mentor or someone you could practice with. And Halo Reach, I felt I came into it as a new player, and I know I'm not the best at Halo Reach, but I consider myself an above average player at least, especially compared to people like this. I played a couple of games with these guys and it went back and forth, but I always ended up coming near the top and having quite a decent KD. I think I got 35 or something, and like 6 or 7 deaths in this, which is a pretty good game in terms of Halo standards. And I think a lot of the fanboys, especially like the Halo elitists, they don't want it to be easier for newer players to get into, and if you do that, it kind of ruins the game, because if you can't get new blood into it, the franchise will eventually die out. And if you get too much new blood into it, especially with games like Call of Duty, it just gets too easy. There must be balance. Anyway, this has been another Halo rambling. My name's SRG21. Hope you've enjoyed this gameplay, and I'll see you guys later.